Good afternoon and welcome to the Happy Half Hour. I'm Leigh Kubin.
And I'm Sandra Priestley. Welcome to our podcast. Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday.
I am drinking decaf coffee. This is like, you're going to laugh. It's decaf coffee
Uh-huh.
with vanilla dip creamer from Tim Hortons.
Oh.
No, vanilla dip donut creamer.
Mm.
It is good. And I usually just have black coffee, but
Yeah.
I don't know. This is like my special surprise today.
Spiced it up. Well, I'm double fisting it today because, that's how I roll.
Yes.
So I have my tea, my unsweetened iced tea from Panera,
Cool.
and then I've got
Yeah.
my water.
Oh, well, good
So,
for you.
you know, I have choices.
You have choices.
About 80% of the thoughts that we're thinking today,
Mm-hmm.
we thought yesterday. And the
Mm-hmm.
day, but it's just a pattern. We get up
Yeah. It's
telling the
history.
same sad
Right.
story. 20
Yes.
years ago, they
Yep.
did this.
Yeah. We are
And
so not in the now as the
no,
like as a human race. Like we were like
correct, correct.
we're so not in the now.
But what this reminded me of, and I want to say it was in The Secret, but they were talking about how they had done this kind of brain scan to Olympic athletes.
Mm-hmm.
So they had two groups. They had one group while they're scanning their brain, physically do the course of
Yeah.
whatever it was that they did.
Okay.
The next group sat in a chair, shut their eyes, and visualized
Yeah.
doing the course.
This on The Secret.
Yeah,
Yeah. I have to watch The Secret again.
yeah. And what was amazing was that both of their brains fired in exactly the same pattern.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that were in the chair and the ones that were on the course. And
Yeah.
they're like, how can this be? And
Yeah.
the guy's like, because your brain can't tell the difference between what you're doing and what you're thinking about doing.
Mm-hmm.
So when we are sitting in 70 to 80% of negative bullshit stories that we tell ourselves that aren't
Uh-huh.
even happening in the now,
Exactly. Yeah.
our brain thinks it is, and our body responds
Uh-huh.
accordingly.
Exactly.
And when we understand this and we start going, oh, well, what do I want?
Yeah.
And
Well, I
starting to
mean,
visualize, what do I
mhm.
want? What does that look
Yeah.
like? What does that feel like?
Mhm.
Our body thinks it's happening
Yeah.
and responds accordingly. And then there it is.
I I was watching Gabby Bernstein just yesterday, I think it was, or maybe this morning.
Mhm.
And of course, she's doing this manifesting 21-day manifesting challenge. And she always does it every January
Yeah.
1st. She was talking about how negative thoughts are not bad,
Mm-mm.
or they don't have, you're not going to manifest your negative thoughts.
You keep
But
repeating them.
if you keep repeating them over and over and over again and they become part of your history and you become emotionally attached to those negative thoughts, now you're going to fucking manifest it,
Uh-huh.
right? Like now it's like, so having a bad thought is not, or having an unwanted thought that doesn't feel good or limiting belief is okay. But the goal is to get rid of them,
Yeah.
not perseverate in them, not like marinate in them until that is your energy, because then, yeah, then you're going to manifest it. But
Yeah.
how many people, I find it so fascinating because there's those people out there that have been listening to Gabby Bernstein, listening to, I don't know, Manifestation Babe, like all of these manifesting people who say
Yeah.
you can't think anything bad. But
Yeah.
like, what are we doing then? Because if the majority of us have 70 to 80% of all of our negative thoughts are bad, you're making yourself wrong
Mhm.
70 to 80% of the time, or feeling like you're wrong instead of just going, shit, well, that's not a helpful thought. I'm going
Or,
to shift it.
or, wow, that's an interesting thing for me
Yeah,
to think. Where did that come
exactly.
from? Is
Like an
that true?
observer.
Just an observe,
Mhm.
don't
Yeah.
judge it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
once
But
we can,
we judge ourselves so harshly for not being perfect, right?
oh,
For having these thoughts. And
yeah,
I recently, I don't know, last couple months, what flew out of my mouth was it is like this backseat driver, this annoying backseat driver. We're in the front seat.
yeah.
And it's like this annoying, like just chirping in the background. Why are you going this way? Why are you doing this way? Why are you so fucking stupid? Like
Inner critic,
the inner critic. And so I started calling her the bitch in the back seat. And so
that's fine.
it's just
Yeah,
like,
she's got to have a name, and that's a great name.
yeah, it's like, because I don't want to listen to the bitch in the back seat. Like it's just so annoying when you're driving, by the way,
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
right? To have someone going, Mart, aren't you going too fast? Aren't you going too slow? Like, holy shit. And that's what I started naming her. And it's just like, oh, shut up, shut up. Like, and then I can just let it go because it feels like it's a thought
It
that is
is.
not me, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just like, it's a thought that's not me. It's just like old shit.
Mm.
And then, of course, every time you want to take action, your brain is going to want to pull you back into safety.
Uh-huh.
And
Oh, that's scary over there, Sandra.
exactly.
Don't go
And
over there.
so I would just think, oh gosh, this doesn't feel good. Maybe I shouldn't. Oh, wait, no, that's just old stories. That's just old shit. Let's move. Like, that's
Yeah.
just an old story I've told myself for so many years. And
Mhm.
whatever happened in the past doesn't have to happen now. There
Right.
is annoying quote that says success leaves clues. And I found it to be, I know it's meant to be extremely empowering and inspiring. And I feel it is so annoying to my soul because when success leaves clues, I keep thinking, wait a minute, that means that I have to look at what happened before, or I have to look at someone else's success. Like I got into this like mind fuckery of it, of like, oh no, I want to do my own thing. I want to be so success leaves clues. That quote made me feel so restricted. It was so interesting. So I can't use that.
Interesting.
I know I can't use that term at all because I think it keeps us stuck. Isn't
Oh,
that
and see,
crazy?
to me,
It's empowering.
I'm, yeah, because I'm noticing, like right now, things just opening up. I have a moment where I go, oh, I want to do this. And I just sit in it and visualize it and
Yeah.
what it would be like and feel like. And oh, poof,
Mm-hmm.
it's there in front of me. And that's what that quote means to me.
Really?
Yeah, is that we have these little clues throughout our day. Look,
Mm-hmm.
come over here, come over here. I was talking to a girlfriend of mine, and she was talking to someone else about like all my new exciting stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
And this friend goes, she can't do that. Why would she think she could do that? She's not going to make any money. She's not going to be. It's like, I've been doing this
Mm-hmm.
for 18 months, but
Yeah.
she was just so, oh, that's not going to work.
Yeah.
And it was interesting because I care about what this friend thinks, right?
Yeah.
I do care about her opinion. However, I think she's very wrong on this. But
Mhm.
tell me how I jumped in to fifth grade Leigh. Because
Oh yeah.
when she told me that, I
Mm-hmm.
was like, fuck you. Like,
Yeah.
not verbally, but there
Yeah.
was something I could feel in my body. And it brought me back to fifth grade. I remember this same feeling. And I went through a lot as a kid. I
Mhm.
was afraid of people. I was afraid to interact, to connect. It was just like I wanted to have my head down. But there was a play that we were doing in fifth grade that we had to try out for. And I had this desire in me to try out for this lead in the play. And so I'm practicing my lines and, you know, just getting ready for this audition, terrified. And so I'm in the tub and my mother comes in and she said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Oh, I'm just practicing my lines at auditions tomorrow." And she said, "Oh, well, read them to me." And so I did. And she goes, "You're not very good. I don't think you should probably try out." And maybe I sucked in the tub. I don't know.
Oh,
But something came up in me and I was like, fuck you. Not
yeah,
verbally again, but it was
yeah.
that feeling in my body like, uh-uh,
Watch me.
watch
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
So I went to school the next day, petrified. And I was like, I am good. I can do this. I can do this. And we try out in front of the class. So our class has to pick the people that are in the play. And then we go
Oh,
from classroom to classroom presenting the play. So it comes my turn to audition, and I get up and I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this. Well, when I get done auditioning, the entire class stands up and gives me a standing ovation
what?
because they were so like, who the fuck are you? Because
Wow.
I showed up. And I remember that pride of, yeah, I fucking did this.
That's the best story
Yeah.
ever.
But it was that same feeling when I heard that yesterday. Was
Mhm.
like, you just watch me.
Yeah. It is, it's interesting how many people, when I walked away from working for corrections, it was wild because a lot of the people that were still in corrections were saying, "Whoa, the Priestleys are leaving corrections." And I'm like, Cam and I remember this one day just staring at each other like, are they all fucking stupid? Like, what? It's just a job. Like,
Yeah.
what do you mean? I can get another one. I like, what? Why are you thinking that it's like so shocking that someone would want to get out of it?
Yeah.
Like, I don't get it. And then, and then it became when I was leaving the government completely and retiring early, huge, like everyone was so scared for me.
Yeah.
Like, whoa, what are you doing that for?
Mhm.
Huh? What do you mean? Why would I stay? But the thing is that so many people are so scared and sitting in such lack
Yeah.
that it's almost hard for them to see another way. And so
Oh,
their lack mentality, their
yeah.
own fears come out almost like they can't help themselves. It's like their own limiting beliefs, their own bitch in the back seat shows up and spurts out of their mouth and says, "Whoa, she can't do that."
Yeah.
No, because
Yeah.
they
It's safe
believe
over
that.
here. Stay safe
It's
over here.
safe over here, even when people, and it is safe for people to stay in jobs that they hate. And they go, everyone hates their job. I don't know how many times I've heard that. Everyone hates their job. It's just the way it is.
Mm-mm.
What? No, it's not the way it is.
That's
Oh, don't do something that you love because you'll end up hating it. I heard that too.
uh-huh.
I
Yeah.
mean, there's other people that say, if you do something that you love, you won't work a day in your life, right?
Correct.
And I'm thinking, fuck, look at that, like positive, negative.
Hmm. Yeah. And it's like for me, networking and being with a bunch of badass women
Yeah.
and doing hypnotherapy and being with people and watching them change before my eyes and step into the life they want, what on earth could be better than that? Nothing.
Yeah,
Nothing.
exactly. Exactly.
The the friend of mine that I met for lunch today, I've kind of told her about what's happening with me, and she's like, we need to go to lunch. Like, so we met for lunch, and she's in a job that she loves the work that she does,
Mhm.
but the people that she works for are a mess.
Hmm.
And like to the point they'll come in every day and say, we don't know how much longer this place is going to be open.
Oh,
Basically, y'all suck. Y'all
yeah.
can't do anything right. And we
Right.
are trying to save this business, but we can only do so. And so it is this, is it really going to shut down, or are you over exaggerate? Like, and it leaves them all sitting there going, what are we doing? And the more they talk like that, the worse and the worse and the worse it gets. And she is very much a let's focus on what's going right. Let's look
Yeah.
where we need to shift, but let's make smart choices. And their business is being mismanaged.
Oh,
And she's like, why don't they just they're hiring me to do this. Why don't they just let me do this? But in her watching me go through what I'm going through, she's got this idea for a business.
oh
And
no.
she was almost embarrassed to talk about it today because she's like, it's
Hmm.
not really my passion, but it would be a fun job that I would get to network with a lot of people, and it pays really well, and I would completely work for myself. And I was like, oh my gosh, this sounds amazing. And
Yeah.
then you could work on your, because she has a passion that
Okay.
she would
Yeah.
love to to make something big. I'm like,
Yeah.
you can do that and then work
Right.
on your passion. And it
Yeah.
was so like relief for her when I
Mhm.
got excited, and she's like, you know what? I've already ordered everything to get started. I'm doing this. But I was nervous to tell anybody because I didn't know if people would think I was dumb. And she just needed
Sometimes,
someone to get excited with her.
yeah. Sometimes I don't know what I can't remember if what you and I talked about this or not on the podcast, and I
Mhm.
don't remember your position on it. But I don't, when I do vision board workshops, I've done a number of them in the past, and I use the bag one map in to make sure, like I design it in a bag one map.
Yeah.
Just I think it helps us have like an all-rounded vision, right? So that we know that all nine areas of our life is is captured, and not
Yeah.
just, sometimes people just like money, success, and they don't tend to think about all the other areas of their life. So one of the things that I do is I suggest that people be very, very cognizant of who they are sharing it with,
Yeah.
because too many times I see women, they create their vision board and then they share it online. But the thing for me is that I don't want anyone to look at my vision board that is going to judge it. Because for me, my vision board is like, I don't
It's
know,
for
like
you.
a bat signal
Yes.
to the universe. Okay, this is where we're fucking going. Like, this is where we're fucking going. And I don't want anyone with a negative energy looking at it going, she's never going to do that. So that's why I am so focused on only keeping my dreams very to myself. There has been times where I've said something that I really wanted to manifest, or like a big crazy goal that I have
Yeah.
set for myself. But the majority of times when I have said it,
Hmm.
I notice I then feel small. Like I feel like I get that, who the fuck am I?
Yeah.
It's that inner voice. And so every
It's that
single
critic, that bitch in the back seat.
the bitch in the back seat
Yeah.
takes over going, what the fuck? You just said that out loud. Do you know what people are thinking of you? And so, you know, for the most part, I don't share my big goals with very many people unless I know they've got my back.
Do
I
you
know.
know it took me months of really knowing that I was ready to make a change,
Mm,
feeling that I was ready for that next thing.
yeah.
And I didn't talk to Paul about it.
Really?
Like because Paul has always been, you work an 8 to 5 job or whatever. Like
Hmm.
not
Yeah.
not me, not you,
Yeah.
like not like he's
In
saying you,
general.
but in
Yeah.
general, people, you work where you have income that's steady and stable.
Yeah.
Period. If you want to do something fun on the side, do it on the side.
Hmm.
And so that's just kind of in the back of my mind, like he's gonna say, what the hell is wrong with you?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I started finding some things out, and I knew if I let it make me angry, that I would make a snap decision. And then
Right.
I'd be bitter. And so I started kind of processing, and I would tell him, this is what's going on. And he would go, well, how do you feel about that? And I said, I don't know. I've numbed myself to it. Like
Hmm.
it's information at this point.
Yeah.
And then,
Which is a really powerful place, by the way.
yes,
When you can be emotionally neutral to anything that's happening and you don't take it personally and it just becomes information, I
correct.
mean, that is
Oh,
power right
hugely,
there.
hugely powerful.
Yeah.
And the day that I met Stephanie at the energy room, and that whole magical experience happened, I came home, and Paul and Lily and I are standing in the kitchen, and I'm probably editing a podcast, and he's cooking dinner, and Lily's feeding Easton, and I'm telling them the story of what had transpired that day.
Mhm.
And Lily is going, are you kidding me? Like, and I looked at Paul and I said, what do you think?
Yeah.
And he goes, why would you not? Like, the
Um,
universe just hand delivered this
yeah.
gift to you and said, come.
Yeah.
This isn't some multi-level marketing thing that you're jumping on board. This is a business that you've already built. Why would you
Yeah.
not run for this? And it
Yeah.
was what I needed to hear because I was
Mm,
still in the, do I keep it safe? Like what? And then it was, it was just that
I know.
moment. And
Yeah.
where I knew, of course, that's what I needed to do. Of
Yeah.
course.
Mhm.
But once I got brave enough to really open up to him and go, this is what I'm feeling,
Yeah.
he was there to, but you have to be careful because, like my friend,
Yeah.
she can't do, of course, she didn't say that to my face,
Right.
but I do know people, and I have specific people that I have not talked to because I
Mhm.
don't want to hear their fear.
Well, this is the thing because we already have our own percentage of negative thoughts. We don't need
Correct.
anyone helping to create more
Mm-mm.
or vibrating at that frequency to the universe. Like
No.
we want to really just like I feel anyway, keep it to ourselves or within a small little group that we know are there for us and help us take risks. Like I am a massive risk taker, but I don't until I've taken that leap, I intentionally don't go and speak with people who will talk me out of it
Correct.
because I can't lean on like I'm trying to lean on faith, and I don't need their fear.
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
Because I mean,
And
we
if
got
you're,
negativity default. We have a negativity default.
yes, and if you're
So
too close to that fear and they
yeah,
introduce it, we jump right back in there. Oh, you're
exactly.
right. I could
Exactly.
never do this.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah. We have to kind of, I don't know, I love just being in that state of neutrality
Yeah.
and just going, okay, what makes sense to me? And then really working so hard as I can to feed that faith
Uh-huh.
and stay away
Uh-huh.
from the fear
And
because,
as we sit in that faith, knowing, ah,
you
I
know,
don't have to make anything happen. I know that I'm going to be at the right place, right time, right people. Like things are going to line. Do I have to show up? Absolutely. Do I get
yeah,
to lay in bed and hope it into being? No.
right.
But we get nudges every single day. And when we start acting on those every day, what am I going to do today that my
Yeah,
future self will thank me for?
exactly.
That's the magic of it.
And this is the thing is that I think a lot of people assume it's just easy. It's easy for people like Sarah Blakely. It's easy for people to just decide to go all in. And they never had, Sarah Blakely, when she was going to create Spanx, or Jamie Kern Lima, who created It Cosmetics, they had more no's. They
Correct.
had more no's than you could ever imagine. And I mean, like,
And
so
some of their no's,
they were mean.
they were mean no's. No one's ever going to buy from someone that looks like
Looks like
you.
you. Exactly. And so for them to have such solid faith and not lean on that, I mean, that's just amazing.
Yeah.
But the majority of us, we don't work as hard as they did on their mindset.
Hmm.
The majority of us just fall into the default.
Well, yeah. And then say, well, that's who I am. I am too ugly
Yeah. How
to be
easy would that
successful.
be for her to do?
Can you imagine?
I mean, and also, I just love that she was so strong in her conviction. Where, when she went on QVC and they were saying, you got to get a girl that is young and pretty and has no skin issues. And she's like, okay, except that I created my product for women with skin issues. Like, so why, like, this makes no sense. And then she just walked out anyway. Like, I mean, the risk was huge,
Mhm.
but her story, her belief, the reason for being her brand, it was so strong.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes I don't know, we don't trust enough in our own brand,
Yeah.
who we are, our personal brand.
Yeah.
And we morph a little bit too much into what everyone wants us to do, what is safe, what everyone expects us to do, what everyone else is doing. But like, holy shit, then we just become like one molecule in a sea of molecules. Like,
Correct. Correct.
then, and I think we feel always unfulfilled.
Hmm.
That's my personal belief. But I think at the end of our lives, we're going to be, my desire is to feel fulfilled in how I led my life,
Yeah.
because it was in congruence with who I am at a soul level
Hmm.
in everything that I did. And I don't want to look back and go, fuck, what if I just like not listen to that asshole neighbor of mine?
Yeah.
I don't have an asshole neighbor, but like,
I know what you're saying. I know.
but like what if, like, why did I do that? Why didn't I take that leap? Like, now I'm 98 years old and I can't go back in time, but fuck, if I could, I wish I had.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, but I think we're out of time.
I think we are too.
Thank you so much. This was good.
Oh,
And thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you next Thursday on the Happy Half Hour. Bye.
Bye.